Every single NFL season, it feels like there is always one player on each team, whether it's your favorite team, whether it's not, that is poised to break out. In the Arizona Cardinals, I genuinely feel like have one of these players. Based on everything that I know and everything that has basically happened in the past offseason, it is pointing all things for this player to absolutely break out and have his best season in his career. And by the way, this guy is only 25. And there are many reasons why I think this is going to happen and why this guy is poised for his best season by far. And let me go ahead and basically break it down a little bit. But before I do that, if you guys are new to the channel and end up enjoying today's video, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post Arizona Cardinals NFL related content. If you're a fan of that, this is the perfect channel for you. But let's go ahead and dive right in on this player. If you don't know who I'm talking about, the player that I think is best poised to have a breakout season for the Arizona Cardinals is wide receiver Greg Dortch. The Arizona Cardinals starting slot receiver last year was Rondale Moore. It felt like he was basically just given the keys to this offense and was, hey, you know what? We want you to break out. We want you to be that guy. That's kind of what happened with Andy Isabella and Greg Dortch too. I mean, they wanted Andy Isabella to succeed so badly, and no matter what, if Greg Dortch was performing, Andy Isabella just seemed to always have the upper hand for whatever reason. And this is a brand new regime, so there's no ties to anybody, so the best player is going to stay. And I mean, Monty Ossenford did not take Andy Isabella or Rondale Moore. There would have been no ties regardless, and Rondale Moore shipped out. Greg Dortch is that new guy. But going back to Rondale Moore, unfortunately though, it didn't pan out for him. He saw a lot of the snaps early on, saw a lot of snaps all season long, up until probably the last 5 games. If we go ahead and pull up the stat tracker right here, this shows every snap right here played by every wide receiver on the Arizona Cardinals. As you guys see, up until week 10, Greg Dortch was barely cracking rotation, playing 2 games where he had 42% of the game played in 21. The next highest after that would be 6%, while Rondale Moore, 68, 65, 54, 76, 67, 66. Just those consistent snaps even had him all year long, but at the end of the season, Greg Dortch took over as that predominant slot receiver, and you saw Rondale Moore's snap count significantly decrease. Meanwhile, for Greg Dortch, I mean, week 15 through week 18 looked pretty fantastic for him, and he was finally given that opportunity in week 11 to week 13 as well. Looked great. Basically, having all these slot receivers on one team isn't going to cut it, especially when you want one guy to be the guy to step up in that role. The former second-round pick in Rondale Moore, who is now with the Atlanta Falcons. I do wish him the best. I want Rondale to succeed. I really liked the pick at the time. It just hasn't panned out in Arizona. He has all the tools to be great, but he just never put it together and never could put it together on the field. Very unfortunate, but Greg Dortch, you are that guy. You have the opportunity now, and we traded the slot receiver of last season for you to be able to come in here and take that leap. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at Greg Dortch's stats, though, real quick from last season, they weren't fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. But a lot of this does come with opportunity, like we said, so take that with a grain of salt. We haven't seen him with his franchise quarterback for the entirety of the season either. Every game Greg Dortch basically played where he was getting big-time minutes, he was out here with Kyler Murray. That's not a full season, so when you look at 24 receptions, 280 yards, and 2 touchdowns, you're probably looking at me like I'm crazy. Why is this the guy who is poised to break out for you guys? Why isn't it Michael Wilson? Why isn't it somebody else? Well, I'm glad you asked, and let me go ahead and explain. Because I think the Arizona Cardinals, with the number 4 overall pick, if all things go into consideration, they do exactly what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to select Marvin Harrison Jr., get that outside receiver and solidify that. Then you're going to pair that with Michael Wilson on the other outside with Greg Dortch in the slot. A lot of the attention would then go to Marvin Harrison Jr., a rookie, but at the same time, the best receiver on the field by far on day 1. And in the limited snaps that they played together, Kyler Murray and Greg Dortch, I mean, Kyler Murray showed great trust. It felt like Trey McBride was the only player on that field that he could get the ball to and that he actually trusted. You know, I'm going to put the ball in your hands, go make a play, and Trey McBride did it time in and time out. But Greg Dortch, on the other hand, I mean, when he got the ball, the guy is electric. If you guys remember that touchdown he had against the Chicago Bears where he made like 8 people miss, like if you get the ball in his hands, it's a dangerous game. There's a reason they had him returning kicks and punts. It might not have been my favorite thing, but at the same time, when he does have the ball in his hands, he is electric. And the crazy thing about Greg Dortch is he's only been in the league for 3 seasons so far, and he's had 2 games where he's played 16 games, 16 games. And last year, he had 467 yards, and this year, 280 with 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns apiece. And this was all behind Rondale Moore, by the way. So you're telling me with an elevated role that Greg Dortch isn't cracking 600, 700 yards and 5, 6 touchdowns? At the minimum, by the way. I'm not even saying that's like his peak. you're kind of crazy. Health is the only thing that would really stop this guy from getting the stats. I think that this offense is going to be so much better going into next season, and that with a healthy Kyler Murray, this offense is going to be dynamic. And then you factor in that this is the second year under a brand new regime. Drew Petzing's second year creating this offense, basically, finally getting his franchise quarterback, and Kyler Murray's ability to throw underneath, and the fact that he loves to do it, I think it's all a match made in heaven. There's a couple holes on this offense, but with playmakers all around Kyler Murray, and you have Greg Dortch, the guy, if he has the ball in his hands, you know he's going to make somebody miss. I'm telling you, man, dangerous things are going to happen, and Greg Dortch is going to break out. I think the Cardinals know what they have in Greg Dortch, which is why they shipped out Rondale Moore, no hesitation. They want to see this guy take that step, and I truly believe that they think the exact same thing that I'm thinking, that with given the opportunity, he's going to make things happen, and they wouldn't have shipped out Rondale Moore if that wasn't the case. Coaching staff believes in him, I believe in him, and I really hope you guys are on the same page as I am, because this season is going to be his best by a long shot. Get ready. Don't say I didn't warn you, man. But with that being said, that is pretty much going to wrap up today's video. If you guys did enjoy, like I said, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post Arizona Cardinals and NFL related content, so if you're a fan of either of those, this is the perfect channel for you. But like I said, man, that is all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and